Joining us now, retired Commander, Royal Australian Navy and former Submarine Escape and Rescue Project Director. We say good morning to Frank Owen. Frank, thanks for your time this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Hi, Frank. How are you feeling about this, Frank? We're on a countdown. We don't know how definite that countdown is, but that countdown could be 10 o'clock and the oxygen could run out by that stage. How difficult is this search and rescue project?
It is extremely difficult. I'm given comfort by and optimism by the fact that these noises have been heard, and they appear to be too evenly spaced at half-hour intervals, not to be humans making them. What I'm concerned about is that there's an assumption that remotely operated vehicles will be able to hear these noises, and that's almost invariably not the case. I've never yet seen a remotely operated vehicle that's equipped with a passive hydrophone, and you need to have ears, passive ears in this sense, to be able to hear. So the ROVs are very useful once you've actually localized, which you need to do with some sort of sensor like a sonobuoy or a submarine, to be able to actually localize where the sound is coming from in a latitude and longitude, if you like. If it's then on the bottom, these ROV, the remotely operated vehicle, can go and start looking for it using its own active sonar, and that would be an imaging type sonar, and or cameras. But even the cameras, they have to operate using the lights that it has, and that's like driving in the fog with all the backscatter. So there's a number of things against them, and of course, as you say, the time's running out. Fortunately, they have on board this ex-French Navy diver, and he will have provided them advice to slow down, to conserve their oxygen, minimize their production of carbon dioxide. And it's therefore, if they were able to do that, 96 hours could become 100, 108.
Gosh, it's just unbearable to think, really. Even if they are able to find and pinpoint exactly where the submersible is, how easy is it for them to get it back up to the surface in the time frame that we're talking about?
It's very difficult to get it back up to the surface. In fact, the only vehicle that can probably bring it to the surface is the US Navy's deep salvage remotely operated vehicle that should be on scene on the site by now, but it needs to know where it's to go to. It's not really a search asset, it's a recovery asset. So, and then it will take time, perhaps 2 hours, to get down to 4,000 meters. It then needs to survey the submersible, discover if and why it's stuck on the bottom. If it is entangled in something, try and break it clear, and then try and lift it. And that is going to take a lot of time. Alternatively, it could be near the surface, and this thing is not going to be easy to see on the surface, because you're showing a picture there of this on the top of its barge. It won't be floating like that. It won't even be floating. Almost none of it will be visible over the top of the ocean. It'll be actually sitting, lying sort of awash, so that it's not presenting a good radar target, it's not presenting a good visual target, and it's not equipped with lights, reflectors, radio beacons, or anything else.
Frank, you're a submariner. I've never been on a submarine. Have you been on a submarine?
No, and I'm not inclined to anytime soon.
Could you give us an insight? I mean, you're commanding, you're on a big submarine. This thing is very, very small. What is life like under the water? Is it something to be frightened about? Is it something to respect? Is it a lonely place? Is it a cold place, a quiet place? Just explain to us what it's like at huge depths.
Okay, inside a naval submarine, it's like being in a train. It's like a train. You've got a corridor down the side and compartments off to the side, or an aeroplane. It's actually very easy to deal with people and to move around. Inside a submersible like this, it is a very cramped, Small, you can probably sit up. In fact, we've seen pictures of them sitting, but you can't stand. You have to probably cross your legs. So your legs after a while are going to get rather tired. If you're older and your legs need a little bit of helping to stretch out, it's going to be uncomfortable. If it is near the surface, it'll be rolling around, bobbing like a cork. They're not in a position to talk to anybody. Their communication system that they use apparently is using a satellite link to Starlink, the Elon Musk satellite system, and it passes text messages to the Starlink. Now, the fact that things have communications have been lost and things have broken down suggests that probably wouldn't be available, and it may not therefore have any backup system. So I have been down under the water in quite depths in small submarines. In fact, I've been near the bottom of the Milford Sound in New Zealand, in the Antipodes, which is one of the submersibles now owned by OceanGate. I was doing a safety case assessment for that submersible. It was comfortable, but it's small. I'm not uncomfortable about having cramped, confined spaces.
Fine.
So
well, Frank,
I'm not.
You paint a vivid picture of life on a submarine, and we really do appreciate you explaining just how difficult logistically this search and rescue mission is. That's Frank Owen, an Australian former naval commander. Thank you very much indeed for
Thanks for your take, Frank. Appreciate it.